Hello, I'm EpiXTreeCat and welcome back to the video. So I have some pretty good news to share with you all because a brand new snapshot just came out for Minecraft Java Edition, or the PC version of Minecraft. It's called Snapshot 18W168, but the name's not the reason it's exciting. It's the stuff that's inside, because it mostly is, an update consisting of these tiny changes. We're at that stage of the game where we're mostly talking about just rounding out the update quadtic, but it includes two fairly minor changes, one of which is one of the best minor changes we've ever seen, and one of which is the worst. So we got a big nerf and a big new feature no one was predicting, and I want to talk about both those in today's video. Hopefully you all do enjoy it. Like this if you do like it, because it helps out the channel. Lets know you do like the snapshot videos. But let's get straight into it, shall we? And let's talk about everything that's inside, and let's show you what's going on. Because the very first change is they've made it so that coral fans will now generate naturally on the Java version of the game. So in case you're curious as to wait, didn't they generate naturally before? They generated naturally on the Bedrock edition, I believe, but they're changing it so they'll be found in the main game on the Java, which again kind of makes sense. I think the current system is kind of a cool thing. However, kind of the downside to the corals is they've made it so if you want to get coral blocks in survival, you're now going to need Silk Touch. So there's kind of the up, there's kind of the down there. It's mostly just I kind of expected that anyway. I think that would come at some point. But if you wanted to make coral the moment you spawn, that's not a thing you can do. Even if you spawn in a coral reef, it's no longer a great thing because you need to, go through all the steps, get 30 levels, enchant, blah, 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 before you can go get the coral. So coral builds are always going to be like an exclusive part of the game, if you will. And yeah, that's the first thing you got to keep in mind. The second thing you got to keep in mind is that drowned will now be able to be found inside ruins. So underwater ruins, above ground ruins, sometimes presumably, you'll be able to find drowned in Minecraft. And honestly, it's just a way to make the underwater ruins, one, a bit spookier, and two, potentially a bit more challenging. So the third change is to do with the turtle helmet. They've made it so it doesn't give you particle effects anymore, and they've made it so it won't make you 100% invulnerable. I assume this was a bug before, but yeah, the turtle helmet has been changed in this update, something to keep in mind. The next one here is the big nerf I was talking about. So again, one big, one bad. The one bad feature in this update, in my opinion, is they nerfed blue ice, and again, I predicted it, and it just makes sense. Blue ice was out of control. You could outrun the render distance on Bedrock. The Bedrock engine is amazing for render distance. Still outran it pretty fast in 600 blocks. So yeah, in the latest snapshot, they've made it so again, we'll probably come over to Bedrock, but if you check Helen Angel on Twitter, I'll show you the tweet. She said that oh, I played it on and it's still not nerfed there yet. So there's hope for it not to be nerfed there, but they've nerfed blue ice quite heavily. Now it goes about 20 to 50% faster than regular ice. So previously, if I had to guess, it's hard to put a number on it, 300%. Now it's more like 20 to 50%. Blue ice is still going to be nice. It's still going to be fun. There's still that slippery factor, but it's not amazing like it was before. It's just pretty good, and I guess I get it, but I'm also oh no, why Dinnerbone, why? So the next change they made in this update is they made it so water, when you place a water block, if it was going to change into a source, so if when there are ways to make water source blocks by, for instance, the 2x2 hole, if you put two water blocks, one by one each corner, it makes everything else into water source blocks slowly. Now, the moment you put in the extra source block, everything else will just happen simultaneously, because they made some technical changes to do with the water in this update. So they've also made it, for instance, so that the they've made it so there's there's liquid block ticks. So for instance, liquid goes at different speeds than the main game. Basically, they're trying to separate liquid from being a Minecraft block into being a Minecraft kind of physics thing, and I think that's kind of cool if you ask me. So next up, I know I say if you ask me too much, but you might be asking me. This is lots of people ask me things because clearly there's a comment section, so I'm just trying to justify it now. Anyway, this one's the next change in this update because they've made it so they've changed the calculation for the temperature of ocean biomes, which will now result in nicer transitions between oceans. So that's kind of cool in my opinion. See, change that one up right there. They optimized spawn position finding code. Again, that's a really technical change. You might not notice it. They've changed. There's a new block and item tag for corals. There's a bunch of bugs being fixed. I could scroll through a whole list on screen right now if you want, but there's a lot of bugs being fixed this update. But that's snapshots. That's the phase of the update we're in. Most of the features are done. It's now about kind of polishing the update and getting those bugs fixed. So that's kind of good news, honestly. And they've also changed the particle effect on the conduit. So it looks a lot like a heart of the sea, which again, I think is kind of cool. I think it makes conduit even more, feeling like it's a real underwater thing, makes it feel more special. I like it. I think it's hard not to like it, so perfectly positive change, but it's not the best thing in this update. So I've been saving the best for last, I'll be honest with you. I teased you, I said it's got one of the best changes we've seen, and the best change we've seen is something called buffet worlds. So I'm going to give you a sample of quite a few buffet worlds in the background, because buffet worlds are a way to pick a single biome world. So that was a previous feature they used to have, and that sounds lame by itself. You don't want a single biome world until you realize that buffet worlds give you, again, or you kind of pick on it, but it'll turn it into a sky dimension kind of world. So there's one of two possibilities here. Either this is just a cool new world type that we'll see in Java Edition, and then maybe later come to Bedrock, but again, they've got their whole own things to work through. Or maybe second of all, it's like kind of testing people's feelings on the sky dimension, because again, it could be leftover code, or it could be code they're working on fresh because they want to make sky dimension style stuff. Maybe it stays as a custom map type, maybe it goes further. This is pure speculation at this point, but it's something I'm excited about regardless. So yeah, buffet worlds. I'm sure some of these in the background have blown your mind as much as they did me. One of the coolest things we've seen in Minecraft Java, and the best bit is even though it looks pretty great right now, Dynamone has confirmed that he's actually going to be working on, because he did some weird technical stuff for this, but there's going to be more technical changes, more exciting changes coming in future snapshots. So yeah, basically buffet worlds is something I'm going to explore and give you the full rundown on at some point later after they've been perfected, because, the first snapshot, if something's going to change, there's not too much point in covering it. Also, I'm not in the country right now, so it's tricky for me to give you the full in-depth I want to give you on buffet worlds. But yeah, long story short, 18W16A, the only things missing are like tiny changes, but they also made a big change to Blue Ice, which is expected. Might not be coming to Bedrock, that's the dream in my heart. And also, the buffet world's pretty darn exciting. So just for a couple of other pieces of news, in case you're curious and you're in the new mood for news or whatever, there's not going to be a Bedrock beta this week, and Aubrey Norris actually confirmed on Twitter, because she showed a picture of the game, and I said soon, and she's like, oh no, it's actually coming out not anytime in the next month. So if you're excited for Switch Bedrock, then not anytime in the next month, which honestly, it's really cool in my opinion. Like, again, seeing something being delayed sounds like it's a bad thing, but in the case of Switch Bedrock, to me, that seems like they're trying their best to make sure it's nothing short of perfect for that version of the game. Like, because, again, the number one complaint about Bedrock comes from Xbox users, because, again, the game didn't launch in a perfect way there. I think the fact that they've learned from that is, it's good. It's like, it's really learning from the community, because, again, a lot of companies, they say they learn from the community, and then they just, really, they're like, oh, they don't like this, we'll avoid this. But in this case, it might kind of be true. So, yeah, I just figured that'd be something cool to share with you. If you're expecting Switch Bedrock, it's like a month away. It might even be coming out after the updated Quadsic. Again, unlikely, in my opinion, based on the fact that their first version submitted is 1.2, and releasing, updated Quadsic might complicate things, but again, we'll have to wait and see. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you think about buffet worlds in the comments down below. They're probably coming to, console if I had to guess, maybe coming to Bedrock, but again, we'll have to wait and see on that sort of stuff. For now, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time. Yeah, that sounds right. Goodbye.